Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to this session. I am buzzing because not only are we nearly at the end of November, but we are just in the week when the 12 Days of Creativity has been launched. So it is smashing news. There's so much creativity to get involved in. And I'm going to take you through some templates and teamwork. And essentially, the 12 Days of Creativity are all guided activities, which are templates with tutorials and instructions down the side. So we're definitely going to jump into one of those today, and then we'll go and browse some other templates and have a whole bunch of fun throughout the session. So please do pop your name into the chat. Who is joining me? Where are you from? Is this your first session? I'm always curious about that as well, because perhaps you already have your ACE badge, or if you don't have your ACE badge, then you're going to get it by the end of our session here today. We will also be going over at the end how you can upgrade this badge and you could become an ACE leader. I run the ACE leader program here in Europe, and I'm always delighted to have more leaders join our cause and get involved in leading and creativity in lots of different ways. There's no one way to be a leader. There's lots of different ways that you can lead, whether it's just in your classroom, in your school, with your co-teacher, or maybe it's across a cluster of schools. Maybe you do online things, and maybe you just like being the person that signposts everybody to all the fun things, like the 12 Days of Creativity. And I'll talk a bit more about it at the very end, but just let you know, hang around. We'll get this ACE badge and the ACE leader info to you at the end. Alrighty, so what are we going to do today? Well, we are going to head over to this page, Build Your Skills, Templates and Teamwork. This little ticker at the bottom is going to give you access to this. So if you just want to like hop straight in, maybe you need to leave early or you want access to these resources afterwards because maybe you're going to do some training with your colleagues, then that's where you want to go. Adobe.ly/ACE and beyond, almost like to infinity and beyond. Thank you for entertaining me with that one. So here's what we're going to get up to. We're going to, first of all, have a little bit of an exploration about some of the curriculum aligned guided activities, have a little look at them. But then I can't wait. We're just going to hop straight into one of the 12 Days of Creativity as well. And then we're going to browse for some curricular templates in Express. We're going to make some changes to it. Maybe we want to localize it for a topic or for your class, and maybe you just want to remix and make it more relevant for you. So let's do a little bit of that. Then we're going to have a little look at Adobe Classrooms. And this is also very exciting because Classrooms just arrived in England last week, possibly the week before. And that means that it's getting closer to the other nations across the UK and Europe. So I am very excited to give you a little brief introduction to Adobe Classrooms and to show you some of the potential that you might be able to unlock with your students. And then what we'll have a little look at is other ways that you can get students to collaborate and to maybe exchange comments on the same document and on the same file. So let's look forward to all of that in our session. Again, there's the link for this session. So first up is we're just going to get straight into Express. So if I'm over here in Adobe Express, you'll see, you might actually see this one. There's some A/B testing going on, but you'll see that I have this huge banner to tell me that the 12 Days of Creativity Challenge is here in Adobe Express. And there are so many amazing ones to get started with. That would definitely pack your festive calendar rightly for December. So we'll have a little look at those in a second. As you can see, you can scroll across here, because what if you don't see it there? What if you're like, Nicole, that looks great, but I don't have those 12 Days of Creativity right there on my screen? Well, you friends are going to go to the Learn tab down the left-hand side, and you're going to go up to the top or here, this very first tile, 12 Days of Creativity are here, or you can go up to the 12 Days of Creativity tile at the top. So that's where you're going to go to find these wonderful activities, and they just look so fun, to be honest. I want to give them all a go. And I've heard if you do complete all 12 of them, there's something exciting that happens. Something's unlocked. I don't know what it is. I haven't completed all 12 of them. You have to give me a bit of time, friends. So why don't we go in and try the very first one? Why don't we go and try this ugly sweater? Let's go and give it a little go. And if you're wanting to find these 12 Days of Creativity and you can't see them, it's because we need to be in an Adobe Express for Education account. So if you're not in an account that up at the top says Adobe Express for Education, then you are not going to see these 12 days of creativity. You might have them as a toolbar up here, or you might need to go to the Learn tab, and then you'll either find the very first tile has a little bit of an explanation about them, or you'll be able just to hop straight in from, I like going just from the little tab up here. So all the guided activities are there, and then the 12 days of creativity are here. All right, let's do the first one. Let's just go straight in at number one. Makes sense to go to number one, so that's what I'm going to do. If this is your first time seeing the guided activity, then down the right-hand side, let me be your tour guide, you have the play button, which will allow you to listen.
In this activity, you'll design your own ugly holiday sweater.
Thank you very much. So you'll have a little tutorial video, take students through what they're going to do step by step. Then you also can scroll down and you can hover over these images to make them larger, and you'll see step-by-step instructions for how to take part, which is just fantastic. So lots of ways for us to engage with our learnings as some of those universal design for learning principles coming through. But let's just have a go at this one. So the very first step is click on the image and use generate image to design a unique sweater, customizing the prompt. So I'm going to click on this sweater right here. I mean, I do love penguins. They are my favorite festive animal when I have to think about one. So I would like to keep the penguin, but I'll swap it out just so nobody thinks that I'm cheating. So let's go for a reindeer. And instead of a snowflake, I'll go for gingerbread house design. Okay, let's just click generate and see how that goes. A reindeer and a gingerbread house. Interesting. And what we'll also have is 4 options being generated for us by Firefly. So we'll get to pick our favorite one. And ooh, aren't they fab? And I like how it's almost turned it into the chimney itself. Let me see this one. Yes, I can see the antlers have turned into. It is coping with. I've given it far too many prompts. I think too much at one go. Let's keep this one. Let's keep this little one here and have a look at the next instruction. Experiment with different styles, materials, and movements. All right, let's experiment with that. So in these styles here, I can go through. So let's have a little look at movements. It's got vaporwave on it currently. Maybe I'll try cyberpunk. Sounds interesting. Let me take vaporwave off just by clicking these little squares. And let me go over to materials and let's go with fabric. Fabric makes a lot of sense for this one, I think. And then what was the other one? Styles. So, well, those were in the styles. Okay, I'm happy. Let's try it again. And this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it some more colors with reindeer, a fuzzy knit sweater with a reindeer and gingerbread. Yeah. Fuzzy knit, red and green. I mean, it's quite two festive colors there. Let's see how it does with this now. So I've gone back up and evaluated my prompt, which is fantastic. Critical thinking, just because it has generated something doesn't mean you have to take it straight away and go. But we obviously want to be as accurate as we can. Fab. That's so good. Turned out so well. Don't they? I would go and buy that. I mean, my reindeer has definitely gone walkabouts, but he's probably flying away somewhere. In fact, you know what I could do? I could probably insert the reindeer afterwards. Maybe it's too confusing for it. This one is fantastic. I love it. Super furry as well. So I'm happy with that. I'm going to look at the back now. It says replace or remove the background texture. Then create a new clashing background using colors, elements, or effects to make your sweater stand out. Okay, so we're just basically going with lots of replacing, and we can add in bonus content as we go. So how do I find this little replace button? Well, I'm going to have to click my background first. So when I click my background, I usually tell students to have like a little look around the frame of your canvas, and I can see down here is replace. Depending on how zoomed in you are and how zoomed out, sometimes when you're clicking on different things, like there when I've clicked on the sweater, replaces up here. But if I click on this little blue background, I can now see replaces up here. So just kind of look around the frame of your canvas for that button. And when you find it, what are you going to replace it from? Maybe you've got a photograph on your device that you want to use. Maybe you're going to find one from the Adobe stock library. Again, you've got so much royalty-free, copyright-free content to use there. Maybe you're going to go with something from the videos, that would really stand out, or design assets, or backgrounds. I'm going to go with backgrounds because it just makes a lot of sense to go with something from backgrounds. Oh, come on. Let me try that again. And again, this is the great thing about tech. Nothing ever goes wrong with live demos, but if something does go wonky with Adobe Express, I find just refreshing it will fix it in most cases. So here's hoping it doesn't make a liar out of me here. So we're going to replace. There we are. But I actually want to bring it back to replace from the backgrounds. So there's my replace down there, replace from backgrounds. Boom. Okay. Oh, how clever is this? Do you see the ideas based on your file? Again, that's some like really smart, subtle AI popped in here to help you with your designs. And I mean, like that one's pretty fun. But I'm looking for that contrasting one. Remember that was the skill that was told here. So, I mean, let's try this wool background, see what they're like. Yeah, it's quite nice, quite a nice little texture. Or one's kind of like wrapping paper might be a nice idea that I'm thinking of. These kind of are, to be fair. Do kind of seem like wrapping paper. Ooh, that one's nice. And this is where there's too much choice, and I get overwhelmed with possibilities. Okay, like that one, but it's maybe a little busy. For me, I just have, ooh. Now, if you're looking at this going, Nicole, you're definitely clicking on images that look orange and red. How are they turning up blue? I will show you that in just a little second. So let's say I want to stick with this one. It's kind of like a funky little, yeah, actually I prefer this one. Kind of reminds me of my scarf. I'm going to keep this one, but I want to change the color not to be blue because maybe I want to swap it out. So once you click off to disappear the search menu when you're browsing for images, but let's click back onto this now and let's go and find out what effect is on this. So just click effects here. And I'll notice that there's no Photoshop filters being used, but there is a tone. And I can tell there's a tone because I can see, look, there's no shadows. It's been clicked on. It's a big bold border around it. Same with Photoshop filters. Tones definitely has something on, but there's nothing here, 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 or here. So it must be hiding under View All. Click View All and aha, there is a custom duotone on this. But if I just zoom out, look at all the pre-built ones that you could choose from. Whoa, that's like rhubarb and custard, isn't it? Does anybody else love those sweets? Oh, that one definitely stands out, definitely contrasts. Blends too much, perhaps, that one. So yeah, lots of inspiration actually just from these ones that are popping up. Do I want one of these? Ooh, yeah, I want that one. Okay, nice and bright, almost like icicle-like. Just clicking the other ones just to see. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna stick with this one. Have a little look at the final instructions, which will be to change the text and to share out my work. I can also see that, like, see the way the sweater is a little bit in front of the text here. So I'm actually just going to go over to my layer panel and drag it down there. So it's a little bit underneath. I could also, of course, like just physically move it and shrink it down. That would work just grand. And it's not Charlie's, it's Nicole's. And you might, depending on the length of your name, you might want to shrink or increase your font just over at the side here. So I'm just bringing mine up a little bit, like so. And I mean, that's I'm pretty happy with that. I would probably just want to change out the colors here. This like very pastel-y pink isn't doing anything for me. So I'm just going to click the color, go up to the little color picker. I'm going to find the color from within here. Might actually go brighter. Let me see. Oh, yes, that's what I want. And I'm going to do the same for ugly sweater. I'm going to click the color of ugly sweater. And then I'm going to use my color picker to go and find like a brighter red for it. Lovely. That's looking pretty good. And then essentially you're done. You just go and share your work then with everybody. You could, of course, go in and change your fonts and things like that. And again, this is just a little quick starter for us all. If you want to spend more time finishing your ugly sweater right now, then I encourage you just to pause this video. I'm going to just start downloading it and moving into the next one. But I've officially done the first 12 days of creativity. So I'm going to say 12. Day number 1. I'm just going to rename my file up at the top. And that becomes really helpful. That skill whenever you start having lots of children's work in the one place and you want to kind of know what everything's called. So renaming your work just by clicking beside the cloud up at the top becomes a super helpful skill, and just change all that untitled into an actual sensible file name. Okay. Let's now look at our download options. So I can just download here as a PNG, just like bring it to my downloads folder on my device. I could also click share if I wanted to find like a view only link so that I don't have to take up storage space on my device. I just want to like post a link somewhere on my class learning environment. I could send it straight into Google Classroom, Teams, Google Drive, OneDrive, if you have those options enabled on your Adobe Express for Education accounts. And I can also see that I can add other people to it. So for example, if I wanted to add myself, my other account in, maybe I wanted to get like everyone in my class to make an ugly sweater, and we'll just have a whole wardrobe in one presentation. Maybe I could add them all into one project and they would just duplicate pages over and over. Or perhaps I just want like 2 children to come in and work on an ugly sweater together. Maybe you're doing a bit of like mixed ability pairings and things like that. Or maybe you just want children to share their work with you so that you can comment on it and give them a bit of feedback. So you can choose to give them the option of commenting or editing. Send a message optionally, and then invite to edit, just like that. So I'll show you what that looks like on the other side. And this then becomes really helpful if you're one of those people who's like, okay, right, I've shared loads, but where do I go now? So let me bring you back over here and pop this screen over for you. And this is also, I think, one of the great things about Adobe Express for Education is being able to create in a way that works for your classroom. So one of the things that we're looking at here is classrooms by the end of it, but I'm aware also that it's not available for everybody just yet. Some people have it. So I'll show you like how you can share and get children collaborating without having absolutely everybody, without having classrooms just yet. So there is a way. All right. First thing is I can see here, this is my other account then. I can see right here up the top right, I have a little notification bell, and that's because I have sent myself this project to collaborate on. So if I click here, it shows, there we go, the Adobe NI team member has invited me to this activity. And all I have to do is click it open and I am away, done. Make sure that you're sharing this with the correct Adobe ID. If you need to know what your Adobe ID is, just click your profile picture in the top right corner. And then, or whenever you're clicking like invite to someone, like so, you'll be able to see what your address is and what their address is, or type their address in correctly. I find that sometimes if people are having issues with sending things to the right person, they maybe got a little typo, or maybe your school domain has like an alias. So like in Northern Ireland, we've like 3 different versions of your email. So do check, is it the long email, is it the short one, so on and so forth. Which one should you be using to collaborate? And then now you can see I could start just making changes on this. I'm going to actually hop, so I've clicked on this, but I want you to see what this looks like over here. Oh, Do you see here on my other account, I can see that there's a little cursor here for where I am. Oh, Nicole's over here. So you can see cursors whizzing around the screen as everybody starts collaborating together. And that can be really helpful for knowing like, oh, okay, right, well, Nicole's working on the text here, so I'll go work on the image or the background. But sometimes it could be a little distracting. So if you want to hide that, just click where you've got everyone invited up at the top and just boop, hide. You can bring it back on if you want. There I am, I'm back again on my other page, or hide it. I sometimes find that if it does get too distracting, just actually being able to go in and toggle on and off is really handy. And then I would just rely on the comment section. So up at the top right here, we have a little comment box, and that's where you can just type away to each other. It's like, I love this sweater. Can we change the background? And just send something like that. And you can also @ the person, so you can use the @ symbol and choose who you're tagging. But if it's usually just 1 or 2 people, it's usually pretty sensible. And you'll see like, oh, student 99 has commented something. So if I come back over here and I open up my notifications, so you can see also I've got a notification button on my comments. Go into my comments and I can see, yeah, there, student 99 has said, I love this. So I'm going to reply to them going, great idea. There's a little bit of teamwork rocking already. Obviously, you would give students a bit more, a bit longer examples, show them what a good one looks like to be a good collaborative talking partner. And I would also give students feedback on their feedback and on their collaboration. So let them know that like, oh, I love the way that you exchange comments in the comment section. And, you know, those are like, well done in developing your digital citizenship skills. And like, that's a really great way to be a digital worker and so on and so forth. Because these are the skills of, you know, the 21st century world of work. Is there's a lot of online collaboration that happens in chats inside documents. So it's such an essential skill to learn. And we might as well be learning it early. Right. Let me hop out of here to go back to our next activity then. So that's guide activity number 1 done. I can see my little pop-ups here, and I can see there's where it's telling me about the 12 days of creativity as well. I want to have a little look now at searching for a template in Express. So there are so many templates. Many of them are indeed tailored to the UK curriculums as well. And we also have a wide range of templates from our global geos all over the world that you could take and just remix, just swap them out for something that makes sense for your context. So let's have a little look at that. I want you to think about the class or the subject that you're teaching, and we're going to use that then to search for a specific template. You can do the exact same one as me if you want to follow something step by step, but also feel free to use this time that you've given yourself as you attend some online training to do something that's relevant for your context. Well, I'll try to keep the skills that we're going to use just to like very similar things that would be applicable for any template at all. So you don't have to do the exact same one as me. So if I'm over in my Adobe Express for Education account, I have a couple of ways that I can find templates. The first thing is up at the very top, you have a search bar. It says search for templates and more. The next thing that I have is down the left-hand side, I have the word templates and a little option for it. I also have activities. So I have a couple of ways that I could go and find templates. So let's have a little check at what each of these does. I'm going to start off in activities and show you. At the moment, it still says subject and grade, middle school, high school, upper elementary. That stuff is being swapped out and being localized gradually. So let's go with an upper elementary science and see what I get. So I've got some guide activities that come out for upper elementary and science. And if I scroll down, I can see my learning course, but I can also see some gorgeous templates here. And like, how appropriate are they for the UK curriculum? The water cycle, the rock cycle, volcanoes, Take 5 solar systems, more science snapshots, data handling, rainforests, World War II code break. Incredible, amazing templates to choose from. And then look, I can also see some more tips there. Let's swap it out. Let's go for high school now, and let's search for maths. Let's search for something high school maths. Got, again, some guided activities that might suit. Scroll on down and I've got, maths recap, got some business plans, interesting. And you see if you just hover over here, it kind of snaps through. And I mean, it makes a lot of sense why maths is in here as well, gross profit margins, so on and so forth. And explain like I'm 5, another maths recap. Oh, I can see that's some area and perimeter there. Some maths hacks, so on and so forth. So lots of really cool options in here to really bring some of those concepts to life. So that's another way that you could search without, maybe this is more just browsing the subject area, but you could search for something really specific and see what Adobe Express has. So that is either going through the search bar up at the top or through templates on the left-hand side. This will bring you to the same place. So first of all, let's, you could just have a look again, another browse at all of the school subject options, what's in here, have a little scroll down at some of the most popular like back to school templates, have another scroll down, you'll see posters and trends, and these swap all the time. They're in different orders every time that I go in. Sometimes I find like there's lots of mind maps, and you'll find like, posters for your next event, so on and so forth. So there are so many that you could just keep scrolling down through. You can see how small my scroll bar is over here now. So maybe this is when we start searching for something specifically. So I'm going to go up to the top to search in templates, and I'm going to search for history timeline. And I've got a few good ones that just pop up right away. And if I look down the left-hand side, you can see that there are different regions toggled on here. I sometimes just click them all on and go, yeah, right, let's see all of them. I just want to see all of the templates that are possibly available to me. And have a little scroll down and go, yeah, okay, right, really like that one. And like, woo, check this one out. Historical timeline for flight, looks great. But of course, I don't have to use it for flight. I could change it out. Here's that one kind of looks like the evolution of the telephone, doesn't it? Lots of really good ones here. Let's go and remix something. So I'm going to choose this one. Click it, customize template. Give it a little second to just populate everything in. And I'm just using my trackpad here, or if you're on an iPad, just pinch to zoom in and have a little look then at what we're doing. So this isn't a guided activity where it has the instructions down the side for us. But if we did want instructions on how to use Adobe Express, we could still use the Learn tab up at the top. So this little light bulb. And when you click it, it will bring up, well, for me in this case, the last thing that I was learning, which was the guided activity. But you can just come back out of this and you can see, you can get some Discover videos, you can get some tips. So maybe I want some tips on design. How do I edit and format text? And I can have little tutorials here for each little bit of skill within Express. So again, can be really helpful if you have colleagues or if you're not sure how to do something and you don't want that to put you off showing it to your students, just go to the Learn tab. Right, let's keep with the historical timeline. And let's say, I want to turn it into like my timeline. And we'll do this like timeline of Nicole. Press on an image, select generate image, edit the prompt, describe your key event. Okay, so I'm going to click on this. I'm going to go over to generate image. I can see that that one's been toggled on. Again, we're looking for those digital literacy clues. We're looking to see like, yep, there's a black outline on here. I can at least tell that this one has been selected over the others. So if I click in here, I've got the prompt that was used. So a geometric illustration of an early biplane and a silhouette of men. Okay. I want to change, and I can see the style, retro futurism style. I mean, I quite like the style, to be honest. Let me just zoom back out and take it in again. Quite like it. But let's swap this out to like, little Nicole just being born. I'm going to completely remix it for something else. So geometric illustration of, let me take everything out to here, of a baby in a cot. Baby in a cot. bold lines, bright, yeah. Let's go with that and let's generate. And I'm going to get a few options here again from Firefly doing its thing. And I can just go back up and edit my prompt again if I'm not happy with it, or just scroll back up and do some changes. Or I could keep generating more, but you'll notice it uses a prompt every time. Oof. I'm going to be honest, friends, that is not what I expected that to look like. So geometric illustrations, not what we want for, for making a baby. So let's say baby in a cot, bold lines, bright primary colors, retrofuturism style. Let's choose art as the content type. So again, this just becomes really helpful by going in and having a look at what the different content types does, what the effect your prompt has, as well, given that little tweak and a little check as well. There is a fantastic resource for, oh, would you stop? Look at these little cuties. There we go. I'm going to go with that one. That is the spitting image of me circa early 1990s. What was I about to say? Oh yeah, I was about to say there's an amazing resource for all of this generative AI content where you might want to help colleagues share and learn more about generating an image, how to prompt, how to use the composition reference tool, because we didn't even use that, or the style reference tool. Maybe there was a specific style of a photo that you wanted to recreate. You could upload it here. Or maybe you have like a fantastic drawing that you want to add in. You've got like a really cool drawing style. Maybe that'll be what you put in here. Composition reference tool then. Right here is if you have kind of like the shapes on a page about where you want it. Like if I kind of knew here's roughly where I want the cot and here's roughly where I want the baby, you could do that. I wouldn't recommend uploading an image of yourself or of children, although it is safe to do so in Adobe Express for education because it's not training on any of your data. I just don't recommend it often as a practice because I don't want that to be shared with other people who then go and do it in other tools where it's not your data is not being treated respectfully and responsibly. So I would just say that I don't recommend that one. Not to say that you can't do it, you of course can. And in fact, I think Shell shows that in her fantastic resource. But that's just my personal caveat. You can make up your own professional opinions, friends, for the students that you teach. So now we just go and change it out, key event. I'll say, change that round, 1992. Nicole O'Connor was born. Beautiful. Now I could just keep going over and over, and maybe it's more that that's just what you want to do for your students. You just want to like change it out, that it's not a historical timeline, it's now their birth timeline or their life timeline, my life timeline, and maybe it doesn't make sense to have this map in the background. So maybe we just want to use that replace skill again. So click on it, replace. I like going and replacing from backgrounds, but of course you can replace from anything. Let's see, like what would a sensible background be for life? Maybe I would just choose like my favorite colors. Let's see what life does. Like a DNA stuff kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Oh, the tree of life. That's a nice idea. You can't really see it because of the vertical aspect ratio of this. Yeah, let's stick with DNA. There's something that intrigues me about it. Or I quite like this one, but I would just need to move it over a little bit, I think. Yeah. So I'm going to move this over. I'm just going to double click the image in the background and I can see the full thing. And in fact, I just want to like tilt it more. Maybe we want it like that. Let's see. Tilt, tilt, tilt. Perfect. And now what do I want to do? I want to change up these colors because right now it does not look as good as the original design. So I'm going to go over to theme in the top left and I'm going to search. Well, there's a few colors here that I could try out. So I could just click these in. Woo, it's vibrant. And I could shuffle through them. So again, I've just clicked theme up at the top and I'm shuffling through the colors. Not sure I'm vibing that palette. Let me swap out a different palette, see how that goes. You can see it's also changing the background image. I mean, that one's quite contrasting. That one sticks out a bit more, but I've kind of lost my text, so I just need to go and change my text colors with that shuffle. Ooh, something moody about that I like as well. This is where you now just get to be entertained by me not being able to make color decisions. That one kind of stands out too. Okay, let's go with this. Let's see if I can just improve this one for the accessibility that I want. And again, you can do that on any template at all. So I can't really read this writing, this yellow on gold, can't really read it. So I'm going to click the writing. I'm going to go over to my yellow, and you'll see here it chooses like page theme. So it kind of tells you like, here's what you've got going on. So I'll choose the darkest one, or again, I could just go and find like my own colors that I want to use. Go into custom, take these circles on a walk, sometimes is what I say, and can be very helpful. And I mean, the rest of it's fine. I would maybe just, let's have a little look at the background color here. Could it be any better if it's darker? Yeah, it could be. I was right. And if I click the background again, I can see that I'm on it. I'm guessing that the opacity has been dropped a good bit. Yep. So I could drop it more if I wanted, or I could make it more bold, more less translucent, more opaque, just by moving the slider up and down to whichever bit suits me. I'm happy with that. Okay, so maybe you've just wanted to, show the first a waggle for the first one, and then you're done. You're ready now. Just this template has been completely changed up. I want to now share it with my children. How do I do that? Okay, you've got two ways. First, for those who don't have access to classrooms, what you do is you go up to the top and you click share. You click view only link, and then you click allow others to remix. Then create your link. At this stage then, once your link has finished downloading and it's rendered like so, you copy that link. If you do go and make any changes at all, just make sure you come back in and update the link. But let's say we'll go and copy this link and paste that wherever we share links with students normally. So maybe you email them to students, maybe you send them onto your class learning environment, or maybe you just want to create like a QR code for them. Well, you could do that in Express. So from the Express homepage, you can go to plus QR. I go to the plus QR, so generate a QR code. Yes, please. Let me just paste this one in. You choose some colors if I want it. Maybe I want this to be a blue one. You can see that it's going to try and give me some template ideas. Does anybody ever do the like IKEA Tulsby frames? I used to do those in class. So I used to have like a little shape that would fit so that I could put all my QR codes in for students to scan and go. And then basically just either download your image right there and then, or open in the editor and start making it into a poster. So completely up to you how you would like to share that link. That's option one for sharing with students. Option two is, let me hop over to the demo account that I have access to because it has classrooms in it. And I'm just going to go find a history timeline, wasn't it, that I was searching for? And go, and you know what, I'll just open up this one for now. Let me customize this just to show you how else you could assign it to students. Now, we could go up to the top right corner. Oh, it's still working. So that if it says still working, it's usually because an image somewhere is still blurry and rendering. So you just give it a little extra second and then it'll be ready. There we are. So share button, and oh, actually there's more than 2 ways, 3 ways. Other one is to send it into Google Classroom or Teams. So if you have an assignment open, it's usually helpful for these. You can assign it that way for students. Now, that is not the assign button that I was looking for. So let me just double check a setting here. Yeah, there we are. It's not an educator account. So let me just change that around and give this a refresh. Some of those settings are being changed across nations at the moment, by the way, so that you can get classrooms. So in the top right corner, go to settings, and we just want to make sure that every teacher is an educator. And at the moment, some of you right now might find that you're not even an educator on your account. So if you're a teacher in England, you're like, Nicole, I don't see classrooms available. It's because your role is set as a student. So go to the top right, where you've got your profile picture, settings, scroll down and choose I'm an educator. Okay, let me see now. Okay, here we are. This is the button I was looking for, this little assign button. Once you have classrooms enabled on your account, you'll be able to assign anything that you create in Adobe Express. So I can click assign like this. I can give my work a title because that's what all good eggs do. So I'm going to say assignment. This is history timeline. I can choose which class I want to send it to. So I've got a little demo class made here. And I'm going to keep the gallery on, which essentially means after my students have finished their work, they'll be able to submit their work to the class gallery where other students can see their work, a bit like a learning wall. And then I can just create the link like so. And the reason that's going to be creating a link for me here is because I don't have any students in this class. So the first time that I create something, I have to get some students into my class. So right now you'll see it's like kind of populated with these little like demo or fake students at the moment. So I can now copy this assignment link, send it to my students however I send them links. And the first time that they have accessed my classroom, my Adobe UK class in this case, via that link, they're in my class for future. So in future, I won't need to copy an assignment link. I'll just assign it into the class and students can pick it up from there. Okay, so that one might make more sense as you practice it and play it on your end whenever you get access to classrooms. But in the meantime, as I said, you just copy that link, go share it out with folks, and your students will be able then to come in like this and take a look at this. So I don't know what that accent was, friends, but essentially, have a little look. You can see which students have turned in their work, have maybe made a little bit of a start, have returned. So they've came back, maybe they stopped working and they come back into it, or they've not started at all. You'll be able to see their work being live updated. You'll get to see what they're doing just from this thumbnail view. And you can also see in the top right corner, the gallery button. Now I don't have any work submitted yet from my class, my fake class here. But you'll be able to view the gallery at the end or as soon as some students start submitting. Copy the link and share with your students to track their work in real time. So there's another option for me to copy the link. If I've hit send already, I'm like, where'd it go? I can copy it there. And look, I can also copy it here. No amount of ways that you could miss where to copy your work. You've got 3 options. At the very first pop-up, copy link here in the first tile, or copy link in the top right. All of the options for you. Now let's say I want to come back out of this. So I'm going to come back and show you what this classroom looks like. Let me go to my classrooms. And this is just in the classrooms button down the left-hand side of Adobe Express for Education. So I just clicked here. Some of you will just have a little coming soon in the middle of your screen. But if you're in England, then you will now see, or in the States, you will now see classrooms right here. So in my Adobe UK classroom where I've just assigned that work, if I go in here, I can see there's a couple of tests and my history assignment that has been sent in, and a gallery as well that I have created before. So right in here, I could just have all of my students' activities that they've been getting up to that week, which is great. Or I could just come back in and go, right, how are we doing on that work that I assigned yesterday? Great. Jimmy started. Tommy started. Oh, I have to go and check, is little Susie okay? She hasn't started yet, so on and so forth. So a really great way just to track the progression of learning across your classroom. Let me come back a step now and show you galleries. So this is a gallery option where you can, let's just create a gallery, and you can get students collaborating and sharing their work and sharing their ideas. And again, what I love about this is whilst I don't have any students in here, I can still kind of see what the vision is for this tool. So I could just give it a little name up the top. So let me edit the gallery. Gallery, teamwork, and templates. And what color? I'm going to go for this pink color. Save. Give it a second, and whoo, got a nice upgrade there to my gallery. I can see where I can invite students, but again, once they've joined your classroom once via the first time you share a link with them, you can also get them to access it via a code, which I'll show you in a little second. You just click invite students, copy that link to get them all into your class. Now, what can they do? Maybe I'll give them a question. What is this gallery about? Maybe I want them to share your festive fun here. And this might be a way for students to share their 12 days of creativity with me. It might be a way for them to share their favorite festive pun, maybe what they're going to get up to. Maybe they're going to tell me something about the shoebox appeal or about some fundraising that they do around the holiday season. Any amount of options in here for them. They can add text like so. Snow joke. I'm slaying this. Hee hee. And choose a color and add to the gallery. And then the first time I add to the gallery, boom. Now it becomes something created by my students, by my class, or by me in this case. Maybe I want to generate an image. Just go straight into generating something. So I might want to say, like something like snowy hillside with fir trees. Twinkling town in the distance. Let's generate that. Might be something quite nostalgic that I create here. Have a little scroll. Maybe I want to choose my different content types now and like regenerate it. And maybe I want to choose some different styles. Oh, doesn't that look like it's straight out of the Grinch? I think it does. Well, let's say I'm really happy with this one, actually. Let's just add it to gallery. So I've clicked the one that I want and then add to gallery. Give it a little second to populate in. And then the last thing for me to show you is how add files. Now, actually, let me just highlight this again. Look, not only do I get the Gen AI image, but I also get to see the student's prompt, which sometimes can be one of the things where like we put just extra text boxes on templates or things like that because we want to know their prompting style and their prompting skills. Like, did they put in the subject? Did they tell us what they wanted in the background? Did they tell us a style? Is that some way that we can give them feedback so they get a better outcome? Lots of great things that we could be considering here. And then lastly, what I'm going to do is to show you add files. So what's great about add files is that you could go from your stuff, or your students can go from their stuff, and you can find some of the work that you maybe did earlier, like there's my ugly sweater, and add that to the gallery. Or I could also upload, you could see there, I could browse files that are in my on my computer, on my device, and add them in that way. But now I can just you could just add in everybody's work here into something really fun and joyful. And you've got, again, multimodal learning here. You've got lots of different ways that students can share their work. And of course, you can share videos in here too. So again, going from add files, your stuff, as long as it's a video option that they've got in here, which I'm not sure where my last video was. Do I see an animate character? Usually that's what gives it away for me. Not in this account, because I'm normally using my school account, but I don't have classrooms on my school account yet because it's not here in Northern Ireland right now. But you could go to your stuff and find a video to bring that in as well. So great options if you're a teacher in England or somewhere else in outside of the UK that has access to classrooms, then you lucky duck, go and have fun with all of the gallery options that you have available to you as well. Now, let's take it back a step. let's spend a bit of time now thinking like, okay, well, Nicole, classrooms is getting switched on for me next week or next month, or when I come back from holiday period. Who knows, 2026 might bring us classrooms one step closer. I want to know how I get started. How do I even get these little guys right here? Well, you might have clocked it already. It's create class. Create class. Name your class. I'm going to say Nicole's nice list. Subject. I mean, I was a primary educator, so it's all the subjects. Manage co-teachers. I mean, if you have co-teachers, for now I don't have another account that has access to classrooms. It's not essential to put in grade in the period, so I would just skip that and click save. And essentially that's it, you're done. You've created your first classroom, and what it's going to pop up now with is options for how to add students into your classroom with a code. Maybe you're going to upload a student list, or to be honest, that first way that I showed you, which is just create an assignment, give them the link the first time and they're in. But you can go this way. So here's a code. And after this session, I'll just refresh the code. So it's not the same code permanently. For security and safety, you can just refresh the code and be like, you know what, I want to put a different code in here. Done. So your students would then need to use a different code. You could also have a QR code for it, like so. And you can also put that full screen, or if you have your class linked to Google Classrooms already, then you can just link your roster there. But as I said, I kind of think actually skip the codes. If you have a process already for sharing links with students, you already have something that you're using for, to send them websites so that they can go and research from, or how they get access to other digital learning. Then I would just go and create an assignment, go and find a template and assign it that way, or you can assign a template this way. So demo, do all the things. Due date is optional. Nicole's nice list. Gallery, yes or no. Don't need to have a gallery all the time. And the gallery is, again, this like kind of sweeping motion where you can kind of like flick through everyone's work. And then now I can search for what do I want to share with students. So I can give them an attachment. Maybe I want to give them some reading materials beforehand. I can do that. And then maybe I want to go and find some templates. So I can find project types. Yeah, I want to give universal design for learning here. I want them to record themselves, use animate character, or they can create a video. Maybe I really want student voice in this one. So I'm giving them an option. Put yourselves in the video, create the video with voiceovers, or go and animate a character. That's what I want them to do. If I wanted templates, I could go and search for those templates. But here's quite an open-ended thing where I could just say, share with me your holiday tradition. From around the world. Maybe you've assigned students, like you're going to find out what holiday traditions are in Japan. You're going to find out what they are in Ireland. You're going to find out what they are in Oregon, so on and so forth. And then assign. Give it a little second. And then students will have access to that assignment in their version of Classrooms then. So lots of great ways, if I just X off this, lots of great ways to get started with some templates and teamwork and how to find all the great things that we can do with Classrooms now that it's starting to be rolled out across the UK. So for anyone who's in England, I want to hear all about it. Come on over to the forum. Come over to edu.adobe.com. Share with us how you're getting on with it in the forum. I would love to learn from you as well. If I come back over here to my work from earlier, and I just click the Adobe in the top corner, I'll just show you what, I don't even have the Classrooms button anymore, did used to. I was going to show you what the Classrooms button looks like now, but it's not there. I was like, you'll just have to keep a little eye out for when that button arrives over in this left-hand side, like it is over here. So I've just got it here. And what you might also notice is that this account has Teach in the middle. So whenever Classrooms is switched on in your area, you'll get the Teach button right in the middle. So again, great ways for you to access some of those like student first, super quick and easy templates and guided activities. You'll be able to take a self-paced course, and I really recommend this self-paced course to truly understand Classrooms and galleries even more. It is step-by-step, bite-sized, little chunked videos to share with your colleagues. And then you'll find other ways to find all of the templates, assignments, galleries, so on and so forth. And there's even the educator resources as well. Now, if you don't have access to this tab yet, you can still find much of this content in the Learn tab on your homepage of Adobe Express for Education. So this little light bulb is your golden ticket to all the good stuff. So you can get a head start now and have like a little go at the self-paced course. That will also get you an Adobe Creative Educator badge. If you start the course, you just go through these videos. You can see there's short little videos, bite-sized micro credentials, and then you take a quiz to earn your ACE badge. But a lot of it is linked, you'll see there, to student activities, galleries, and classrooms. So I think it's a very good one to go to as it becomes unlocked and released in your area. And then up at the top here, that's the educator collections that we were just clicking on before. And there are more coming. Again, head over to our community homepage, so edu.adobe.com. In fact, I don't have an account on that one, so I have an account over here, edu.adobe.com. Ta-da! Here is our education homepage. So you'll see a way that you can join the community. That's essentially how you're going to get your ACE Leader, your ACE badge, and information about ACE Leader. You can find out our resources for November. You can take a little look at what is the latest way that Adobe have listened to you because you've asked for something. And that one is podcast, which is just fab. Well, actually, is this one about podcasts? It is. Shell has given us a fantastic video about podcasts to check out, which is class. And then you can also meet and learn with the community. So go in and have a little look at opportunities that might be coming up for online collaboration. There's also a community calendar. We do have one as well for this side of the pond. Scroll on down and you'll find out more information about the community. There's a featured post, there's some newsletters, and then there's the educator collections and how you can apply to have your templates popped into Adobe Express for Education. Wouldn't that be class? Now imagine you were just like, yeah, I just came to one of Nicole's webinars, dibbled and dabbled and remixed and changed themes and changed colors up. And then I was so happy with the stuff that I created. I went and used it with kids and I know they loved it. So much so that I want to go and apply for an educator collection. You need to log in with a Microsoft account for the interim. But if you are someone who isn't able to get access to that and you really want in, you can shoot me an email and I can see how I can help you with that. So that is my top tip for you, friends, is if you really love some of the stuff that you're doing, and you can see there, it's also an opportunity perhaps to get paid and get compensated for the content that you're creating. So I think it's a fantastic place, this homepage, for you to come in and hang out with us. Also head over to the community forum. You'll see so many posts from educators around the world. Look, there's one from me from whenever Shell and I made a little fun video last week when we were together. But this one, you can see it gets a lot of eyes on it. It's always up into the hundreds. This one, the monthly share. So if you go into the November monthly share, and whichever month that you're watching this back, go into the monthly share for your month. You'll be able to find out like what the big focus for the month is, what creative skill we're focusing on, what templates we're looking at, what guide activities we're doing, and to share some of your work with people. You'll also see that the amazing community team, so there's Anne, Wezzy, Martha, Meredith will be in there sometimes, I'm in there sometimes, Shell's in there sometimes. There's any amount of people from the Adobe team can pop in. How fantastic is that? Way to go, Queen Mel. So just a fantastic way to go in and see all of the amazing things that are going on with the Adobe Creative Educator community. which I just absolutely love seeing it all come to life. And there's a lot of people that watch that post in particular. So share what you get up to with us. We'd be delighted to support you in your digital creative journey. All that leaves me to do with you today is to make sure that you get your ACE badge for all of the fun that we've had. So at the bottom of the screen now is a short link, adobe.ly/ACE badge. That's how you'll get your ACE badge for all of the fun that you took part in today. You just remix it and download it. And then if you do want to keep in touch with us and you want to become an ACE leader perhaps, then you'll want to go to the link that I have at the bottom now, which is adobe.ly/your community. On that page, that's our little ACE newsletter page, you'll find festive bingo for those 12 days of creativity, along with some amazing drawing tutorials and some examples and some links for live lessons with Dom and Meredith, Santa's elves. But you can just scroll down a little bit more and you'll learn more about the ACE community. So if I take you to it, for example, just very quickly, I know we're slightly over time, but you'll forgive me, friends, won't you? Your community. So it brings you to this page, and I mean, that could have been Santa in his younger years, who knows? But you'll see we've got a link to the 12 days creativity, 10 fantastic drawing videos, 3 Adobe live lessons, and a festive bingo card to bring it all together. So perhaps you want to just take part in that, or you want links straight away into every activity. Just click the words and away you go. Scroll on down though, you'll find out about our community. So if you want to join me on ACE Leader, I do my onboarding email once a week. So all you have to do is go to adobe.ly/Leader Europe, fill in a very short form, and then you'll be able to get access to some of the amazing resources that we send out to our ACE leaders every month, and they'll come straight to your inbox. You'll also have an opportunity to join us on some monthly online calls. We all have our cameras on, our mics on, the GIFs are popping off in the chat. It's a really great time. Everyone's a bunch of good eggs. I'd be delighted to see you there. So do check it out, and also check out who our amazing ACE innovators are for Team Europe for 2025-2026. And that's our amazing Adobe Express for Education community team here in Europe. We are so wonderfully supported by our colleagues across geos, across the globe. I thank them for that, and I thank you for joining us today. And if there's anything else that we can help you with for your curriculum, this little QR code has been on the whole session, but that's where it takes you to adobe.ly/express links, which brings you to ebooks, live lessons, more ACE trainings, more content than you could ever wish for. If I can help you in any other way, please let me know. Other than that, peace, love, and community hugs to you all. Have a fantastic rest of your week.